I still recall the manner in which she acknowledged me that evening. 2 fingers, a courteous smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Over there," Mary instructed the attendant, pointing toward the farthest dining surface. For my brother and his wife, a quiet spot. Quiet, that was her term for inconsequential. The celebratory engagement gathering was saturated in expensive ornamentation crystal lamps, glimmering like purloined celestial bodies, champagne flutes echoing with false merriment. She had communicated, weeks prior, that her function was to be refined, which in her lexicon signified selective spite, disguised as elegance. And we, my husband and I, were meant to occupy a space in the obscurity of her magnificence, far from the cameras, the laughter, and the significant attendees. I offered no protest. I smiled, as I habitually did, because she had never realized that the reserved individuals are the ones you should most dread. My sibling Diana was always the favored, offspring, the one who pursued greater aspirations, who was entitled to superior prospects. I was the elder sister, the one who committed early. I wed a gentleman who worked with his hands, not his family's reputation. She used to find it amusing. "Affection doesn't settle debts, Liam," she'd pronounce, flipping her lustrous hair. But affection, I ascertained, reimbursed with fidelity, a standard she would never comprehend. Our mother and father idolized her ambition, her charisma. I once idolized her too, until I understood her kindness was conditional. If she couldn't utilize you, she'd demean you. Despite this, I participated in every major occasion of hers: the diploma ceremony, the career triumph, the announcement of the engagement. Pretending her subtle insults didn't hurt until that night. I first encountered her fiancé Noah 3 months before the engagement. A smooth-talking financier with the sort of grin that could market snow to an Eskimo. Diana boasted incessantly about his riches, his family's connections, his imported suits, yet she never disclosed their initial meeting. I uncovered the truth by accident or destiny. One night I entered the home office where my husband, Gus, was on a protracted telephone discussion. His tone was atypically concise, professional. When he concluded the call, I inquired casually about the person. He hesitated. "Just an old client from a firm. I used to advise for some investment portfolio, Noah Martin." The name remained stuck like a shard of glass. Later that night, while Gus slept, curiosity, or something sinister, prompted me to examine his prior electronic mail. And there it was, a chain of correspondence between Gus and Noah, courteous, professional. But dated prior to Diana ever making the introduction. Noah had previously sought financial counsel from Gus, then abruptly ceased contact after a transaction failed. The deal involved a monetary pool, one that mysteriously collapsed months later. Noah had profited. Gus had suffered a reputational setback. Diana naturally was ignorant of all this. Or perhaps she wasn't. I didn't inform Gus, not just yet. I needed to determine the depth of her perfidy. So I observed silently. Diana commenced making remarks about how Gus's entrepreneurial endeavors weren't dependable, about how I had settled too hastily, each statement sharper than the last. And when the preparation for the engagement commenced, she scarcely involved me. "You know how matters are," she said sweetly. "Different acquaintances, distinct, always distinct." But what shattered my final piece of self-control was a private discussion. I overheard her on the telephone with someone giggling. "His sibling is quite charming." Not like Gus. My goodness, Liam really compromised. She was unaware I was in the adjacent chamber. That night, I resolved that silence would no longer be my protective layer. It would be my offensive tool. Retribution requires clarity, not fury. I contacted an associate, a legal practitioner who had once represented Gus's company. Discreetly, I had her investigate Noah's corporate documentation. It required little time. Shell entities, concealed liabilities, a few illicit monetary transfers. And the designation, Diana Scott, listed as a silent associate on one of his accounts. My flawless sister was not only committed to a swindler, she was implicated in his scheme. But instead of revealing her immediately, I waited. I confided in Gus about Noah's background. He remained composed, simply stating, then let him orchestrate his own downfall. Thus we strategized. Our attendance at the engagement party not as excluded guests, but as essential observers. We arrived punctually in the state of Texas. Diana received us with the kind of excessively refined cordiality that invariably preceded an insult. "Oh, splendid you managed to attend," she chirped. "Your table is over there." More private, far from her fiancé's relatives, far from the attendees. I nodded. Ideal. As the evening unfolded, Noah circulated among the guests, shaking hands, bestowing charming smiles. I noted how he avoided glancing at Gus until Gus rose and traversed the hall himself. I watched tranquilly. When Noah noticed him, his smile weakened, his jaw tightened recognition, fleeting like a momentary malfunction. Gus extended a hand. A long time, Noah stammered. I didn't realize you two were united, Gus concluded. Indeed, a small planet. Then gently he appended, I informed your auditors of all the necessary details. Noah's face